Hello everybody, Shifu the Cards here. I'm doing another video. This is kind of a offshoot of my previous video that I just did on Skellige Control. This is a wound deck, strictly wound Skellige deck with kind of an offshoot of what I did with Skellige Control, but this is more focused and more streamlined with some additions, some changes. So it's just strictly what you're doing is you're trying to wound the opponent and then you're trying to finish them off. So look at the deck. Some of it's going to be pretty similar to what it was before. So we start off with the key to the deck again is Savage Bear. Savage Bear really just is a very strong part of this deck because what it allows you to do is damage your own creatures, which trigger some very important things for you, and also damage their creatures. So it's a real big threat for them. Generally, I've had a chance, my son, he and I have been playtesting in the lab against a really strong monster weather deck, and that can be a pretty tough matchup for the bear because the bear would be reduced to 1, but more importantly, everything on the melee roll will be reduced to 1 because of the monster frost mechanic. So the bear would end up killing your cards. So that's a tough matchup for this deck. But every other deck we tested against, this deck did really well. A very dominating deck. It just kind of constantly punishes your opponent with the bear. The bear's main positive for your side is the young berserker. I'm going to credit Mythic Pilot for pointing that out. A really good addition to the other deck, but it works a little bit better here. So what young berserker does is transform into a young bear if this unit's strength is reduced below its original value, but it's not destroyed. So in other words, he's a 3. Comes to the play, say the Savage Bear is already on the board. The young berserker comes in, he gets swiped by the bear, and he becomes a bear himself. So we don't know exactly what the strength is of it yet. I think it's anywhere from 10 to 12. Either way, it's definitely going to be more than 3. So that pops on your side and does really good damage and or good strength for you, as well as swiping his board. And what you're going to find with this board is it's almost like, the way I call it, if it bleeds, we can kill it. It's almost like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like it'll sit there and constantly pick at you till you're dead, and then you just end up winning. So I'll kind of show that as we go on. But the synergy for bear on your side is the young berserker. Blue Boy Lugos is probably one of my favorite cards of Skellige. I don't think you can underestimate how strong the Spectral Whale is for the opponent, because as you're picking them down and doing damage, this Spectral Whale can come in and act almost as a finisher per row. It just randomly appears on a row and does -2, I think is the last thing I heard. I don't know if that's changed, but it used to do -2 across all creatures on the row. So what it'll do is just bounce and bounce and bounce. And let's say you have, for example, Foglets, right? They come in, the weather plays them, they're all 2s. Well, the whale lands on it, they're all dead. It just wipes them clear. So it's a really strong card, and I joked about the whale meta, and this is actually kind of real. It's very strong. So Blue Boy Lugos is very key. And what I found is even on a very powerful and strong monster deck, where they have a lot of offense, a lot of times the game was like 5 to 4 or 9 to 8 because you're really controlling, you're eliminating his threats. The weather is messing with you because you only clear weather, which could be an issue. But against other decks, you just basically destroy them and just constantly just lock them down. It's really fun. It's a really good deck for that. I added Geralt Igni. It's just a Scorch that is gonna. It's just a good card, just in case they get ahead of you and you don't want to use removals on them, or they pop something big down, like for example a Frost Giant or something big. You can just basically scorch them out. So Geralt Igni's really strong there, plus the gold card, so he's hard to get through the weather. These guys are absolutely awesome. I mean, if you look at it, really this is a 7 strength card, and now they're already probably swiped at this point, or they're already kind of they have a whale on the board on their side at this point, or a parrot. We'll talk about that later. This guy comes in, puts 4 to your side and -3 to the other. And I'm just telling you now with this deck, as I've got a chance to really play test it, a 7-point swing is huge. Sorry. So that's very, very important. And it really gets you some win conditions. So I have 3 of them in there because they are a 7-point swing in a game where 3 points could make a difference. Murder Brock, of course, I have him in there. He is used to take damage from their side. Usually you want to do 3 to one of their creatures, 2 to another, and then 1 to the young berserker to make him a bear. And it's just really strong. Murder Brock's always good. Or 3, 2, 1 to their side. Clears out a lot of minions. Really tough. Holger Blackhand, again, choose 3 non-gold units and remove 1 strength from them. Again, you're just death by paper cuts. 1, 1, 1. It may not seem like a lot, but you're eventually just whittling them down. Also, he's immune to fog, so against monster decks or weather decks, you don't have to worry about him. Zoltan Animal Tamer. This is a huge card. You want to use the Field Marshal Duda card that does -2 to a row. And honestly, if you can get Zoltan Animal Tamer and Blue Boy Lugos, it's like it's total chaos in the other team. They're just -2, -4 in some cases in some of their rows, and it's really hard for them to set an offense when everything's getting reduced down. Plus your ability, let's say they play a 5-cost card and you happen to have the whale and the parrot on the same row, they're a 1. Any one of these guys can pick them down and just finish them. Really strong. Triss Marigold does 4 damage to their side, so you get the idea. A nice little 4-cost, damage spell. They've already been reduced, so it's going to kill a lot of creatures. I added these in. It's a great card. A Priestess of Freya. Pretty much all the cards that I need are all bronze, so she brings back any one of the cards. Could bring back an archer, could bring back a savage bear if it's killed, could bring back a young berserker, could bring back, really anything that you need. Clan Brockvar Archer, if you have there's just so much synergy you can bring back. It's always good to bring something back. Clan Brockvar Archer, choose 3 units, deal 1 damage to it. Again, can hit the young berserker, could hit their side of the board and just pick them down. Have a couple of them in there. Akvist is a great card because not only does he do 1 damage to the whole board, but he returns to your hand, so you can keep on using him, which is very important. He's a very, very strong card. I really like Akvist. And also, I have something else you can use for the damaging your own side, not just the young berserkers. All right, this card is just ridiculously powerful. Stammelford's Tremors has been a lot of win conditions for me where it just is 2 damage to everything. Keep in mind, add that with a parrot, the whale, the constant pick damage from your side. Triss, Geralt, you get the idea. It's just constant damage on their side of the board. It's a really good control deck. You're really kind of focusing on damage here. Alzur's Thunder, it's 6 damage to the face. 6 damage to a unit. If they have a big unit, you put it in there. The reason why I like that over Scorch is because, honestly, you're constantly picking them down to where it's very rare that they would have a big card in there, so it works better. Manticore's Venom is really good for muster decks like Northern Realms or monsters. It's just really nasty. It just whips through a whole muster or reduces them down to such a point. Like if they play Witchers, they're 6s. It goes down to 2s, and then you have a whale or parrot or Stamford's Tremor, whatever. You're gonna clear it out. I have 1 War Cry in there. You could possibly add 2 if you wanted. And what that does is if one of your creatures is injured and you're going to injure them yourself, you then double the strength of it. So, for example, if I shot Holger Blackhand with one of my archers, he'd be a 5. I'd War Cry him up to a 10, which would be pretty nice. Lacerate, basically another Stamford's Tremor. You're just basically swiping boards down. You're constantly picking them down. And my first thought when I built this was, and I'd like to thank my son Tony for helping me out with this deck, was that it's very reactionary with a lot of damages. Is it slow to get started? And it could be, but you have some cards you can play in there. You have Zoltan Animal Tamer, Blue Boy Lugos, Savage Bears. You put Berserkers down first. You can even throw down a Hunter and pick one of his first creatures down. So really the one thing you're looking at early if you go first is you want to have in your opening hand. You have to have in your opening hand to be effective. A Savage Bear, which would be amazing. A Young Berserker, which would also be very good. Blue Boy Lugos or Zoltan. And chances are you get those each time. Or even Akvist to be perfectly honest with you, because he has a delayed effect. So you put Aquavist down, and you know in 5 turns they're going to have a board wipe. Aquavist is a really strong opening for this deck. So you're looking for Aquavist, Zoltan, Blue Boy, a Bear, or a Berserker in your opening hand to really have a good, strong opening. And then you just kind of do reactionary, control their side of the battlefield, and well, win is what you want to do, in general. And you'll find yourself in a lot of low lockdown games. If you join the Gwent Discord server, there's ways we can kind of theory craft and test and stuff, and it works really well, so you can see it in action. I think you'd like this deck. It's really strong and really, really defensive, and I like it. So it's a offshoot of the Skellige control. It's still Skellige control, but a little more focused on wounding. So if it bleeds, we can kill it. And just so you know this real quick, I went ahead and jump right into the logo over here to the bottom right. So Gwent After Dark, time of filming this, there's the logo if you hadn't seen it yet. It's going to happen in, it's going to happen in 2 days from this time of filming. So Tuesday at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time in the Americas, and then I think it's 8 o'clock in Europe, 8 o'clock in the morning on Europe. So in one of the Europe times, all you do is go to Google and type in 1 a.m. CST, and it'll automatically populate your time zone. So Ruben and I are getting ready to do that. I want to thank Bradley, my tech guy. He came in there and kind of set all this up, my son, and so we're ready to go. So it's all going to be awesome. Hope you're there. Shifu the Cards, follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube, follow me on, here, would be good too. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Predator. Good movie. Later.